Hello YouTube. So I couldn't get my Friday yesterday because of 9 times out of 10 and calculating I just said it wasn't worth it and caught up some sleep. So this is bits and pieces of the battle retreat being Kalush. This is definitely when we're practicing. He did give Barrage that lately that won the whole tournament, but let me tell you what that's connected to, okay? First off, I want to state that I stopped smoking, this morning, literally, and I feel better, I want to, continue to be sober, throughout the day, even though, what I smoke weed for is, medical reasons, like I work out, immensely to a point where my body is sore and weed heals it. But then what they do immaturely is they have a girl rip my face, they do the whole celebrity thing within, I don't want to talk about it, another world, from NASA. Double imply, oh, when's gonna be the next video? I want you to be a lapper. All my muscles are trying to relax. So in doing so, the chat is just for my abusive girlfriend for them to sneak in elbow who's about to get dirt again. So you thought you would learn your lessons for having a whole anime confirmed. Really actually see your dick in the vagina, actually having revelations, knowing that girls are full of shit, you're gonna understand something. You need to recognize that my body needs to heal. That's also another statement for this video. When people want to work you to their bone and say you're not trying hard enough, I revealed, Lily, do you let me, hold Chris Brown over and over again? Do you not, validate anything and not rewarding anything? After the Alex video, I get nothing on top. Or bigger escalate than having my mom and having everybody in the family say one thing is physically hurtful. Lily, it's very harmful. That's why I, revealed this scheme, I stole from the arrow when I do one block to see how I have, a video, to lock you, mental health, and then I do something able body like dance outside. I revealed that that's actually a way of the body healing itself because you're rewarding yourself one thing, you recognize when you're doing the other thing, your body is slowly decaying. Let's get real for this video. I'm going to say it's going to shock you, okay? The battle between me and my mom is the battle of the whole 2000s. Since that's where I grew up, I was born in 95, not just 2000 yet. And I did, miss the whole principle where it came to Blue George, Denver, and Sydney, but I didn't miss the whole thing, which is the whole, aspect of my Asperger's, which is a higher functioning form of autism that can, adapt to society, but not if society betrays itself. A good example of that is Randall Yu Yu Hakusho. So people didn't understand. This year, literally, I got to relive some of the greatest moments. When me and the group, how I first got to Alpha and Omega and I started drinking out of that vodka cup like Garland Jr. He did the same thing when he was avoiding a gang where he actually fucked the girl. Literally, the gang hopped on top of him and he drank the vodka slowly, and I saw it side by side. And last year I also thought about how I got to kill people with Rando. That it was another revelation. It was the only part, I could think, straightforward at 29. So in doing so, Rando is the example that I just have Asperger's. And what that means is, higher girls of quality like Ali, Arena, once they're all together, literally I can sneak them in at will, and what I do, from time to time is I sneak in the principle of Henry, a Japanese character that's literally a black guy with a fade. Literally, when you do somebody with a blur, you use a hill, in order to explain a story, even though it's contradictory. And what Rando does is he fakes people, he has girls fight over each other. He makes the gangster feel a certain way because of the beauty. Now it's time to establish something. I made a speech earlier about how I learned from each and every generation where it comes to, country, and even decode my brother's generation. And what that has to do is, they compete way more than the organic generation of cranes, like where it came to basketball, music, when Lil Jon came out, really they were a part of a really big generation. So what I did over time was I called out that they still hid behind Samurai Jack, served the most soulful purpose. What I did was I recognized part of them didn't have discipline, so I'm like, yo, the reason why I became the next version of Eminem was because, I learned from my grandmas, my moms, and everybody's generation to a point, because I had discipline is why I could achieve what they didn't, especially hiding behind mystic rap. But there's a bigger matter at hand. What truly happened yesterday was a skateboarding video explained that you have to get better at something by practicing, instead of the regular booty-doo making fun of you, making sure the board doesn't land. And I explained that one move that was mid-tier freshman year, explained that you had to do something over and over and over again. Therefore, a gang-aware derogatory statement saying that I suck, when I won the whole reality show, was eliminated. Now it has to go back to socializing ever since you were 3 years old, because I did something able-bodied that you have to practice. Anyway, a further point for this video, Ja Rule, I probably will be wasting, and I will be wasting, my bars for Cool Luge, not now, later. What further discussion is, I know what Jocelyn them is doing in the ARL chat. What I'm saying excessive in this video is that me supporting Ja Rule is heavily against Chris in the early 2000s. Since he was the one who was on wrestling. Me, personally, I know what The Rock was going through, I know what Vin Diesel was going through, I knew that the early 2000s a lot of people had imaginary friends, they were way more protected than me and Courtney, but the principle behind this video is you saying that Ja Rule's over 50 Cent is illegal in the early 2000s due to it being ruled by Nas. Did you just say that 50 couldn't beat Ja Rule in the fight where he strikes his agile nigga? It's heavily against his kind because he is known as elementary rap where you don't practice. And I explained in the further video, so what ends up happening to my black archetype, is that people blame me and Henry. When I explain that I just have Asperger's, it's actually more extreme than you would think because it's a rivalry between black people because Henry beats Nas and everything. If you actually do the science, Lily, of you versus your mom, Lily, when you're a Trix is an actual archetype of domestic violence. What that is that you're everything, you're a crafty, you like art, right? But Snickers is self-explanatory, you play basketball, Lily, you're clean. Funny, you get longer people. What ends up happening to your uncle and your dad is that literally your uncle calls out the Henry shit, and what dad does, he calls out a form of being relaxed. Since we do have everything we do in society, you can't always pick Snickers because it puts you in prison. That's a long story short, but anyway, as we get closer to the Blue Jordan, when I came back in the ARL chat, it was like the Return of the Jedi. Now I can't, fully battle because of my abusive girlfriend, Lily. That's like saying, Lily, I have to ask Lulu to go first. Obviously a touring cost. I'm saying maybe 3 of the American for this video, so I should cut it short.